everybody, what's going on? Kyle-chan here and welcome back to another video. And today's video is on a subject that I've been meaning to talk about for the longest time, but just never got around to addressing. For today's video, I'm going to share with you guys my tips for what to do and what not to do at your next anime convention. Some of these things I learned the hard way by doing the wrong thing at some of the conventions I've been to. I've been to over 20 some odd conventions since 2007, and I thought it's time I share with you guys my experiences so that you guys have a wonderful experience at your next or first anime convention. So let's start off with the most important thing, your badge. The question is, should you pre-register or should you do at-door registration? The preference is entirely up to you, but I can tell you, you are going to save yourself money and you're going to save yourself some time by pre-registering. So let's talk about that first. Here's an example. The one convention I go to every year is Anime Next. I don't like to miss this convention since it's my local convention, and I went there for my very first one. After the year's event is over, they start pre-registration for next year. And if you fill out their survey, they give you a code that allows you to get your 3-day pass for $35. After that, it goes up to the usual $40-45 mark, and then at door, it goes up to $70. So you do the math there. $35 versus $70. You're saving yourself some money by pre-registering. You may or may not save yourself time by pre-registering, because sometimes the pre-reg line is longer than the at-door line. But you're definitely going to save yourself some headaches because you're already halfway done. You've already paid for it. All you have to do is show your ID or scan a barcode depending on the convention. And you're done. You get your badge and you're on your way. And a lot of the big conventions, they either send you your badge or you can do pre-reg on the day before the convention, which is an amazing thing. So you're definitely saving yourself time because you're not missing anything. They do the pre-reg on Thursdays late at night so that you have your badge, you're all ready to go, so bright and early in the morning you can just skip the lines altogether and go off to whatever panel or whatever you want to do. So you're definitely saving yourself time and money by pre-registering. There is a downside to waiting to at-door registration. For some conventions they have limited number of tickets or they have a cap for the number of attendees that are allowed at that year's event. Here's two examples of that. Anime North, which is located in Canada, has instituted a cap for the number of attendees that can be at the event. And once that number is reached, there will be no at-door registration. So whoever pre-registered, that's the only people that are allowed to attend, regardless of what day they decide they're going to go. NYC Comic-Con doesn't have a cap on attendance per se, but they do produce a limited number of badges. So if you don't pre-register ahead of time, you run the risk of not being able to do registration at the door. They do allow that at some events, but sometimes they run out and then you're out of luck and you won't be able to attend and you've made all those plans for nothing. So you got your badge, you figured out how you're going to register, now we got to figure out where you're going to be staying. For a lot of conventions, the venue is a good distance away from your residence. So you have to figure out if you're going to do public transportation every day or if you're going to stay at a hotel or at a relative's house, depending on where this location is. Most of the time, you're going to have to stay at a hotel. And I would recommend, if you know you're going to a convention, get on those reservation plans immediately because a lot of people are going to be wanting those rooms and they will sell out rather quickly. So if you know you're going, try to get the reservations at the official hotel, which is the main hotel, or somewhere that's close to the convention center. Because you're going to be doing a lot of walking throughout the convention and you're going to be worn out. And sometimes the weather does not cooperate with you. And that is just a miserable thing when you have to travel to your hotel from the convention center. So those are my little tips about hotels. If you have any more questions about that, I will expand on that in another video. We're making some progress. So you figured out all your registration plans, you know where you're staying. Now let's talk about what you need to bring to the convention. Ladies, you should bring either a purse, a small backpack, or a messenger bag. And in those items, you should have your wallet with your ID, your credit card, debit cards, or cash. A lot of vendors at a dealer's room may or may not take credit card or debit cards, so you're definitely going to need some cash if you're going to spend things there. Outdoor registration usually is cash only, so you definitely need cash on you if you are planning to do outdoor registration or go to certain vendors in the dealer's room. You should also have your cell phone, which is obvious. You need to have a camera so you can take pictures of people, or a camcorder so you can film everything that's going on around you, which would create wonderful memories for you. And you should also bring a small umbrella. Now that sounds like the most ridiculous thing in the world. Why should I bring an umbrella with me? I learned the hard way that Mother Nature is very unpredictable. One convention, I wasn't paying much attention to the weather, and it looked nice out. And then all of a sudden, the weather turned on us, and it started to downpour. Now, we all know that cosplays, wigs, and rain do not mix. So I was at the convention center, which was a good mile away from my hotel, and I had to go all the way back to it. And I was just like, what am I gonna do? I don't want to ruin my cosplay. What's gonna happen now? Luckily, Otakon had a booth at the door, and they were selling umbrellas. And I was able to purchase an umbrella, and myself and my two friends were able to walk back to our hotel relatively dry. At this year's Anime Next, we actually had a hurricane come through, and luckily I had an umbrella, but if you aren't prepared for these things, you're going to be soaked, your cosplay's going to be ruined, and that's just going to cost you a heck of a lot of money. So bring yourself a little umbrella just in case. Another example is at Otakon last year. It was 105 degrees at pre-registration. I am not kidding, that is how hot it was, and it was very unbearable. If you did not have an umbrella over your head, you were suffocating. It was just terrible. So definitely have an umbrella with you just in case. You should also bring water with you to keep yourself hydrated, because you're going to be doing a lot of walking. You're going to get dehydrated pretty quick, especially if it's hot out. So definitely have some water with you. And I think that covers most of the basics. Oh, if you're cosplaying, have a little repair kit with you, because you never know, you may have a rip in it somewhere, something may not be sitting right. You're going to need these little things just to keep your cosplay intact. So that's some of the major things that you're going to need when you go to your convention. Men, I also recommend that you guys bring yourselves a messenger bag to carry all your stuff in. Make sure that it's about a messenger bag size, because some conventions have this thing called a box check, where they're going to make you put in the bag, and if it doesn't fit in the box, you're not allowed to bring it into the dealer's room. I haven't seen that recently in a lot of the conventions I've been to, but I know they still exist, so you should definitely be aware of that. And it can be a hassle sometimes, and it could be a little dangerous, because you never know who is watching your stuff, and you have to be wary of that kind of thing. So I would definitely recommend you bring a small bag. Another reason why you should have a bag with you is you're going to be buying stuff. And again, I learned the hard way that you really should have something with you. At one Anime North convention, I went crazy in the dealer's room, and I ended up getting a ton of manga, and they gave me 2 boxes. Now if you extend your hands outward, they were the length of that, 2 of them, which must have weighed up to 40 pounds. I mean, this was ridiculous. And those of you who have been to Anime North know the distance I'm talking about when I had to travel from the convention center to the Doubletree Hotel on the other side of the street. I had to walk that by myself with 2 big boxes. That was an ordeal, let me tell you. And my arms were jelly by the time I got to the hotel. I couldn't carry it anymore. I could barely get up the stairs to my hotel room. It was crazy. So definitely have yourself a bag. At this year's Anime Next, the dealer's room ran out of those plastic bags they usually give you. So I had a stack of manga this high with me as I was wandering the dealer's room. And that would have been a disaster if someone had stopped me to ask me for my photograph. I would have had to drop everything, have to pick them up. It would just be a nightmare. So definitely have a bag with you, whether it is a messenger bag to put all your stuff in, or extra plastic bags from home. Just have something with you so you can carry all your stuff, just in case. So we talked about your badge, we talked about the hotel, we talked about what you should bring with you. Let's talk about some of the other important things that you should keep in mind. One of the most important things, now I don't know how much I can stress this, I know my parents get on me with this, you should definitely keep eating things. Don't put it off. Don't say, oh, I'm not hungry right now. You're gonna regret it. One convention, I was sick as a dog because all I was living off of was Pocky. Living off of Pocky is not a good idea. Let me tell you, I was so sick the next day. I was so nauseous. I was so close to throwing up. I just felt miserable, and that is just not the way you want to feel when you're at a convention. So definitely eat something. Bring Pocky with you. Bring ramen. Ramen is a very easy thing to make. You just need hot water and you're done. It's a little something, but you definitely need to eat on a regular basis. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, or at least breakfast and dinner. You need to eat something and keep drinking water. Those are the big things that you need. You need food and you need water. Don't neglect that. Regardless of how you feel, don't neglect that because you will set your body up for failure. Let me tell you, it's not a fun thing. Also, common sense, but a lot of people tend to forget this. You have to shower at least once during the convention because you're going to be sweating, it's going to be disgusting, and that creates confunk. Confunk has actually started to make a human form now at some conventions. It's gotten so bad. So don't forget to shower, don't forget to eat, and that's pretty much it. The last thing, don't forget to have fun. That's what you're there for. You're there to make memories, to make friends, and just have a good time. That is what you should do. Let's talk about the last thing, scheduling. Scheduling is a big thing. You need to know where you're going. So, before the convention starts, they usually post the schedule. So take a look at that, go through it, see what you're interested in seeing. If it's a main event or if it's an autograph session, make sure you give yourself plenty of time to get there. Because sometimes the lines are ridiculous. For Masquerade and for some of the big voice actors, the lines can take hours. So you're going to need some stamina for this. Map out everything. Make yourself little memos, whatever it's going to take to make sure you get to where you want to go. A lot of conventions will have lines for certain panels. So if you don't get in line early enough, you risk the chance of not being able to go to that event. So it really depends on the size of the convention and the popularity of the event. So you need to keep that stuff in mind. And I think that solves all the issues that I've ever come across. If you guys have any questions on some other things that you're not quite sure of, let me know in the comment section below and I will be happy to answer them for you. Again, I've been to a lot of conventions and I've seen a lot of things. So I would be happy to share with you guys my advice and what you should do at your next convention so you guys enjoy yourself. So that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys thought this was useful. If you want some more tips from other people, I will give you links to that. AG Acting Girl, aka Britt, also made a video on this and I will post a link to that video in the description. It's a wonderful video, and again, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!